Hey, are you prepping for the PMU State Co-ordinator exam? Well, so am I.
I'm documenting my journey to crack this thing.
This is my personal prep guide, and I wanted to share it with all of you.
Okay, before we go any further, let me be super clear about something. I am right there with you, preparing for this exam. This is my journey. I'm not some guru or a past topper. In fact, my background is in commerce. This is my first shot at this. So please, take everything I say with a grain of salt. This is just one person's strategy shared with fellow aspirants.
You know that feeling, right? You're looking at hundreds of pages of schemes, laws, dates. It's a lot to handle. But the goal here isn't to just memorize every single word. It's about finding a system, a way to cut through the noise. And I think I've landed on a pretty simple strategy that really helps. So let's do it together.
And here it is, my whole approach in just 3 steps. First, we figure out the why, the big social problems the ministry exists to solve. Then, we look at the what, the actual tools and schemes they use. And finally, we practice the how to use all that knowledge to answer exam questions. That's it, simple. Let's start with step 1.
Step 1 is without a doubt the most important part. It's the foundation for everything. Before you even think about memorizing a scheme or a date, you have to get a deep understanding of the fundamental problems. Why? Because every single thing the ministry does is a direct answer to one of these issues. If you nail this, I promise, the rest just starts to make sense.
So, this slide, this isn't just a list. This is the entire reason the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment exists. It's a map of the biggest challenges our society faces, from issues that have been around forever, like caste and poverty, to newer challenges like elderly care. Think of these as the main chapters in a book. Every scheme we're going to look at later is just a part of one of these bigger stories.
And wow, this quote really gets to the heart of it all, doesn't it? Dr. Ambedkar's words are a powerful reminder that this isn't just about handing out money or passing laws. It's about something much deeper, achieving real, true social freedom. This is the philosophy, the guiding star for everything the ministry does.
Got our why locked down, the core problems. Now we're moving on to step 2, the what. This is where we get into the nitty-gritty. We're looking at the specific tools the ministry uses to fight those battles, its history, its laws, and of course, its many schemes.
Don't worry, this isn't going to be a boring history lesson. Just a quick look at how the ministry came to be. It started out as the Ministry of Welfare and has changed over time. But the really key thing to remember here is that split in 1999, when Tribal Affairs was carved out to become its own ministry. That's super important because it helps us understand exactly who MoSJE is focused on today.
Think of these laws as the ministry's legal backbone. These aren't just random acts to memorize for the exam. They're the real power, the tools that allow the ministry to take action against discrimination and protect people. And if you look closely, you'll see each law lines up perfectly with one of the core issues we talked about in step 1. See how it all connects?
All right, now this is the really practical tool I've been using to break down every single scheme. Instead of just reading and getting lost, I force myself to answer these 6 questions for any scheme I study. Why does it exist? Who is it for? What does it actually do? How is it structured? What are the results so far? And this is the big one, what are the challenges? This changes everything from passive reading to active analysis. And hey, just a quick note to be totally transparent. A lot of the content in my prep doc, including this very checklist, was actually suggested or refined with some help from AI tools. I've found it really useful for organizing my thoughts, but it's important that you know that. So as always, be mindful and use your own judgment. Okay, so we have the why and we have the what. Now for the final, and maybe the most crucial step, the how. How do we take all this knowledge we've built up and actually turn it into answers that will score well in the exam? This is all about putting it into practice. Now this is gold. I found some info online about what past PMUs, the people evaluating us, are looking for, and the message couldn't be clearer. They don't want a robot who can just list facts and dates. They want to see that you can think critically, that you can connect the dots between a problem, a policy, and the real-world challenges of making it work. So what I did was I took a bunch of practice questions and tried to group them into these categories. And look, they line up perfectly with our strategy. Some questions are all about the why, like that one on caste and poverty. Then you've got the ones that are classic PMU-style questions about implementation problems. And then there are my favorites, the thinking questions. These are the ones that really let you show off your analytical skills. And you guessed it, here comes another disclaimer, just for these questions. I pulled these from all over the internet, from things other people have shared. So obviously I have no idea if even one of these will actually show up on the exam.
The point isn't to predict the paper, it's to use these as practice, to train our brains to think in the right way.
So let's kind of wrap this all up. The whole goal here was to take this mountain of information and just find a clear path to get through it. It's not about memorizing every single detail, but about having a solid framework so you can understand anything they might ask you.
And this is the path. It's that simple. Always start with the problem, the why. Then you add on your knowledge of the tools, the what. And finally, you practice applying it all with the how. Why, what, how. If you can just keep that in your head, that giant document suddenly seems a whole lot smaller. And I just want to end exactly where I started. I'm just another aspirant on this journey right alongside you. This is just my strategy, something I came up with to help myself make sense of all this stuff. I really hope it gives you some ideas or helps you find your own way. It's a tough exam, for sure, but we're all in it together, so good luck to all of us.